Imagine a secret history spanning continents and millennia. A history not written in books, but in root systems, leaves, and fungi. For as long as humans have walked the earth, we have sought to alter our consciousness. But beyond the fleeting buzz or the modern concept of partying, these botanicals were the architects of our reality. They sparked religions, fueled the rise of empires, and may have even jump-started human language itself. Today, we are witnessing a massive resurgence. From Kava bars in New York to ayahuasca retreats in Peru, the ancient plants are back. But to understand where this trend is going, we have to understand where it started. In this video, we're going to uncover the forgotten wisdom of euphoria. We'll look at the plant that the Greeks kept secret for 2,000 years and the botanical that caused 2 wars and reshaped the global map. How did we find them? We watched the experts. Anthropologists believe early humans likely discovered psychoactive plants by observing animals. We saw jaguars chewing yage vines for heightened senses, or reindeer snacking on fly agaric mushrooms. It started as hunger, but it ended in revelation. This leads us to one of the most controversial yet fascinating ideas in anthropology: the stoned ape theory. The theory suggests that the ingestion of psilocybin mushrooms by early hominids might have catalyzed the rapid expansion of the human brain, aiding in the development of language and self-reflection. While unproven, it highlights a truth we know for sure. These plants changed how we processed the world. But mere survival wasn't enough. As society formed, humans wanted to speak to the gods, and to do that, they needed a specific key, one that grew in the mud of the Nile River. In ancient Egypt, euphoria wasn't a taboo. It was a passport to the divine. Enter the blue lotus. Depicted on tomb walls and chalices, this water lily wasn't just decoration. When steeped in wine, it acted as a mild sedative and euphoric, used in rituals regarding life, death, and fertility. It was the scent of the afterlife. Moving slightly east to the Indus Valley, we encounter the greatest botanical mystery in history: Soma. The Rig Veda, one of the oldest religious texts in the world, dedicates an entire mandala to this plant. It was worshipped as a god. They called it the Elixir of immortality. But here is the intrigue. We still don't know exactly what Soma was. Was it ephedra? A poppy? A mushroom? The recipe was lost to time, leaving us with only the poetry of ecstasy it produced. But perhaps the most famous secret was held by the Greeks. For nearly 2 millennia, the brilliant minds of Athens, including Plato and Socrates, participated in the Eleusinian mysteries. Initiates drank a potion called Kykeon. Scholars now suspect this brew contained ergot, a fungus growing on barley, essentially a primitive organic precursor to LSD. This wasn't recreational, it was a ritual to conquer the fear of death. These rituals were controlled, sacred, and communal, but soon a seismic shift occurred, one that would turn these sacred teachers into global commodities and weapons of war. As we entered the age of exploration, plants ceased to be gods and became goods. The discovery of the New World brought tobacco to Europe. Coffee fueled the Enlightenment. But the darkest turn involves the poppy. Opium had been used medicinally for centuries, but in the 19th century it became the center of a trade imbalance that triggered the Opium Wars between Britain and China. This is the moment euphoria was weaponized. It was no longer about spiritual connection, it was about economic dominance and addiction. This led to a global crackdown. By the 20th century, the sacred plants were categorized alongside synthetic street drugs. The ancient rituals were driven underground. The shaman was replaced by the dealer. For decades, the ancient wisdom was buried under stigma. We relied on alcohol and pharmaceuticals to manage our state of mind. Until recently, when Silicon Valley executives began looking for an edge, and scientists started looking back to the past. Welcome to the euphoric renaissance. We're currently living through a massive cultural pivot. The sober, curious movement is driving people away from alcohol and back towards functional plants, but with a modern twist. Take Kava, for example. Used for 3,000 years in the Pacific Islands for conflict resolution, it's now appearing in social bars across the West as an alcohol alternative. Or Kratom from Southeast Asia, used by laborers for stamina, now finding a complex place in the modern pain management conversation. And of course, the psychedelic resurgence. We aren't just seeing trips, we're seeing microdosing. The goal has shifted from escaping reality to optimizing reality. We're trying to reclaim the connection the Greeks and the Egyptians had, but stripped of the ritual and fit for a 9-to-5 lifestyle. So what does the history of euphoric plants teach us? It teaches us that the human desire to alter our consciousness is innate. It's not a glitch. It's a feature of our species. From the sacred smoke of the ancients to the microdoses of today, we are still looking for the same things: connection, healing, and a glimpse of something bigger than ourselves. The plants haven't changed, only we have.